So the other day I was working on my sewing projects and I was finishing up a bag, and I finished it up, and I had a couple more things to do, but I ran out of the items, the materials that I needed to finish. But anyways, when I finished the bag and I looked at it, I was just like, this is really good. This bag is really good. Like, I'm proud of myself for completing this bag, and it was a challenge and I finished it. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, it's not good enough. Is anybody going to like it? Is it really that good? And I was just like, oh my God, why am I thinking that? Why am I thinking that stuff? And I was like, that is that self-sabotaging feeling coming in that makes me stop and not complete things sometimes. And I was like, not today. You're not going to do that. You're going to get out of here. I'm not going to listen to you. And I am going to complete this project, and I am going to be proud of what I've completed because it's really good. But just having that feeling and having that thought made me think, okay, my next video needs to be about self-sabotage and not giving up on yourself, not giving up on your healing, not giving up on your dreams, not giving up on whatever it is that you have going on that you're determined to finish. And I will say that is the one thing that my husband says when I asked him one time, like, what is it, something about me that you admire or that you think is something that I might not notice about myself that other people notice? And he was just like, that you're determined, you don't give up. And that is so true. But I don't think people, I'm always thinking, and I get that from a lot of people, that, you know, I look very determined. I'm always like a go-getter. I always have a goal, or, you know, I have intentions on what I want in my life, and I go after it, and I don't give up. Like, no one can tell me to give up. But I still, saying all that, I still have those feelings of self-sabotage. I still have those thoughts in my mind of, is it good enough? Should I put this out? And I guess that we probably all deal with that type of fear, and that we just have to push past it. But sometimes it can stop you. And I think the older I get, the more it stops me. When I was younger, I feel like I was unstoppable. You could not tell me anything that I could not do. And if you did, that was just a challenge for me. I was going to show you that I could do it. But as I've gotten older, it feels like there's so much more to lose, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, there's so much more to lose, especially when you have a family, you have responsibilities, and it feels like, oh my God, I have to think about this, I have to think about that. So it's not just you. So it's so much easier to do when you're younger, you're single, you're doing your thing, you're out there. But as you get older, you really have to pay attention to that and make sure that you remind yourself that, no, push past that. Push past that. Don't let that stop you. So that was like something that I was really dealing with. And just waking up lately, you know, feeling kind of anxious, like in the middle of the night. Just a lot of different, not even a lot of different things, but some, you know, things going on in my life that I've just been feeling a little like, ugh, and not feel like I have control over it. And I have to constantly remind myself that you have to relinquish control over that type of stuff. And I went the other day to, there's always reminders in our life, reminding us of staying in the present moment. But I went to get my annual breast exam the other day. And when I walked in to go to the back to, you know, get to actually have the exam, the lady was saying, I forgot what she said, like, am I nervous, or don't be nervous or something. And I was just like, no, I'm not nervous. It is what it is. Like, I'm here to take my test, and I don't have any type of feelings of feeling anxious in this moment, because whatever it is, it's going to be. And I'm just going to stay right here in this present moment. So for some reason, it was easy to do then. But sometimes we can get into situations, or things can happen that seem overwhelming. And even, you know, something like that should have made me kind of nervous maybe, but it didn't. I just reminded myself to stay in the present moment, I think. But there's other things in my life that can get me more anxious, like bills and different things like that, that really get me anxious. I don't like the thoughts of things looming over my head that I can't take care of right away, or yeah, so things like that that make me feel anxious. So I was just having those type of feelings, waking up, and I had to remind myself that, okay, stay in the present moment. There's nothing you can do about that right now. It will be taken care of. Things are always taken care of. Things always work out for me, and they're always working out for me. But I have to constantly remind myself of that. So I just thought to myself, let me do a video on this, because I know there's somebody out there dealing with something like this, where you're feeling like you want to have control over what's going on in your life, or you might be self-sabotaging and not really moving out on what it is that you want to do, because you're feeling like it's not good enough, or it's not exactly where you want it to be. But we have to remember to stay in the present moment, to stay in the time that you are in, and not be so worried about the future and what's going on with the future, because we cannot control that. We can do everything in our ability to make sure that things are going to turn out how we want them to, and then release it, let it go, and it is what it is, and that's all we can do. But you're going to have days that are not going to always be your best days, but you don't give up on those days. You just get back. I always say you get back on a horse and you keep riding. You keep going. You don't give up on yourself. You don't give up on your dream. You don't give up on your healing. You just keep going, because there's going to be days that's going to be hard, and that you're going to forget to stay in the present moment, and that you're going to forget not to self-sabotage. But you're going to remind yourself when you do that to come back to the now, and that's just a thought, and you're going to change that thought. And what I've been doing lately to just really regulate my nervous system is to, when I'm having those thoughts, if I'm somewhere to do this, as long as I'm not driving or doing anything like that, then I stop immediately. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take some deep breaths, because this really helps to just bring you back so you can change that thought. First, you need to regulate your nervous system. You need to relax. You need to relax, and you need to regulate your nervous system. So stopping whatever it is that you're doing, when you're having that thought, when you're having those feelings, when you're anxious or you're feeling overwhelmed, let's just stop. Let's bring ourselves to a safe space. So I like to place one hand on my heart, and then place one hand on my stomach. And this just makes me feel secure, makes me feel safe. It's kind of like I'm hugging myself. So one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, and take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just doing this at least about 4 times. And when I breathe in, I'm going to breathe in to the count of like 4. So breathing in and counting in my head to 4. So, and when I breathe out, I'm going to breathe out to the count of 6. And really taking some good deep bottom belly breaths. So really getting to the bottom of your belly and taking some deep breaths. Holding your hand right here to your heart. Just kind of letting your heart know that you're safe. Letting your solar plexus know right here on your stomach, you're safe. I feel calm already, so I don't know how you feel, but I feel calm just doing this right now. So this really is going to help to just regulate you in the moment, regulate your nervous system. So then you can start thinking about, how can I change that thought? Like, for example, me having a thought about, oh, my bag not being good enough. Let's go back. Let's change that thought. Let's change that to me looking at this bag, looking at what I've accomplished. I made this bag from scratch. I have to show you guys, because I just need to show you what I did, because I did this from scratch. And I did see a picture of inspiration, but I made my own pattern. So this is my bag. It's not finished yet. I still need to go and get some more thread and a couple of more attachments. But look at this, you guys. Look at that. Yeah, I did that. And it opens. and it has a nice pretty zipper. So I did all this, okay? I did all this. I've been sewing for like maybe a year and a half, and I've completed a bunch of different bags that I'm really proud of. But I was really proud of that because I actually drew out my pattern. I did everything, but I still was having this crazy thought in my head like it's not perfect enough. So back to what I was saying, let's change that thought. So no, looking at my bag, knowing that I did this, change that thought. Maybe everybody might not like it, and everybody's not going to always like everything that we do. But I took the time to make this bag. I drew out a pattern. I did it myself. I took my time with making sure that that all my lines were nice and straight. The ones that needed to be curved, I made sure that they were curved. So it's like change that thought of it's not good enough into it is good enough for what I was able to do right now. Like if I wish I had a bag close by that I could show you guys what my bag looked like from a year ago to what they look like now. So it's really changing the thought of changing that negative thought into a thought that is more uplifting, more positive. And I hate it. That sounds so corny, but it is that simple. I don't know. I can't think of the words for it right now, but it's that simple. Changing that thought from that negative, low vibrational thought to a higher vibrational thought, and really taking the time to make sure that this new thought is something that is going to calm your nervous system and not keep you going into this downward spiral of you not being good enough or your work not being good enough or whatever it is that you're self-sabotaging about. So knowing that you can change that thought by first regulating your nervous system, calming the nervous system down, and then going back in to actually change that thought into something that's going to be something more positive and uplifting, and that's going to keep you from giving up on yourself again. So I just wanted to share that today because I really felt like there's probably a lot of people who deal with self-sabotaging feelings and feelings of being anxious and having overwhelm or anxiety. And when you just learn to get into the present moment, calm yourself down by just stopping whatever it is that you're doing in that moment and taking 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to just really regulate your nervous system. This is for you. You can't change if you don't do these little things like just stop. Let me breathe. Just breathe. Get your breathing on a regular pace. Because usually if we're feeling anxious or nervous or we're overthinking, our heart rate is up, it's beating fast. And we just really need to stop and learn how to regulate our nervous system so we can get back into alignment with what we want for our lives. And we all want to feel better and we all want to heal from things that we need to, but it's something that we have to work on daily. So it's nothing that happens overnight. You didn't get to this position of being anxious and overwhelmed and self-sabotage and all these different things overnight. So you have to take the time and know that you're going to have those days that it might feel like a setback, but it's really not. It's just making you aware of that you need to be present and you need to work on whatever is coming up. There's something, it's coming up for a reason, and it's something that you probably need to work on and just sort out in your mind and work out by repositioning and changing that thought, changing that mindset that you might have about whatever's going on. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. Hope this is something that you can use. Remember to just stop, breathe, hold on, or place your hand on your heart, place one hand on your tummy, and just let your body relax. We hold way too much tension, nervous energy in our body. So remember, whatever's going on up here in your mind is going to be going on in your body. Okay? So I will see you guys on the next video. And if this was something that you feel like helped you, make sure that you share it with someone else. And I hope you have an amazing day. Peace and blessings.